Hey everybody, I finally have some time to pop in here and just kind of recap everything that was the New York City Marathon. It was a lot. It was a lot to unpack. And it's been almost a week. It's been 5 days, since the marathon, and I'm still trying to just I'm trying to unpack everything because it was just so much, so many feelings involved, like from just even well before I even got to New York, the training leading up to it, and the day it finally came for me to do this thing that I've been, reconstructing my whole life around for the past few months. It was just a lot that went into it. And so let's unpack it. Y'all know, I think it was less than 2 weeks before the marathon when my knee started hurting during one of my long runs. And I actually sought out a physical therapist, had some dry needling therapy, sessions, at least 2 of them before I actually left for New York, just so that I could do everything that I felt I needed to do to help this knee, because I knew what I was going to be making it do in New York. So I went into it with that, not knowing, and I hadn't done any long runs after that, because my whole thing was stop the long runs and just focus on, stretching and, recovery and healing of this knee. So I never even made it to 20 miles. You get up to 20 miles during the training of a marathon, and then you kind of taper after that. So mind you, when I found out from Runner's World that I had won, entry to the New York City Marathon, it was technically already 3 weeks into the time of training for those who already knew that they were going to run the New York City Marathon. Their training had started 3 weeks ago. And so as soon as I found out, I started at the beginning of the training for me. So I've always been 3 weeks behind. So just know I was probably never going to get to 20 miles anyway, because you're really not supposed to do 20 miles, do long runs that close to the marathon. So me being the ambitious person that I am, I was going to try it. But at that 18-mile marker, when I knew my knee just wasn't up to par, that it needed some good TLC, that's when I said, I am going to just use this time to just stretch and heal this knee. So the night before the marathon, I'm in my New York City hotel, and I'm having the most difficult time trying to get to sleep. My mind was just going back to just the thinking that, will my knee cooperate during this whole thing? I never made it to 20 miles. The most I've done was 18, and I have to do 26. Am I really ready for this? Can I really do this? So I'm up the night before, y'all, at 11:30 p.m., really questioning my abilities for this because of the things that occurred, even before getting to New York. I immediately had to pull myself back and say, first of all, I just prayed, God, remove all the negative thoughts from my brain, ease my mind and help me to believe what other people are believing about me, is that I can do this and I will. So I just said those affirmations and I prayed, and I was able to get back to sleep. Next day, knowing that I'm about to do this adventure to get to the ferry, which was right around the corner, which is why I chose Hotel Indigo, because Hotel Indigo is literally a 3-minute walk to the ferry that we would need to get on to then transport to Staten Island, where the buses would be to drive us to the starting village. I knew I would be doing this alone in New York City, and I'm the type of person, I want somebody with me, and it's like a new city. I've only been to New York one time before this, so I was like, oh my God, I'm doing this by myself. the good news is that I wasn't by myself. There were so many others that had also had the same idea to stay in Financial District, closer to the ferry. And they were walking over too, and I just joined them, and I made friends leading into the direction of the ferry, and even getting on the ferry and knowing which side of the ferry to be on to see the Statue of Liberty. And these were not just, people who were, were coming to the marathon or running the marathon. These are people that either lived there, or they lived on the New Jersey side, or they've done this marathon so many times, and so they were very familiar. So shout out to Martha, you know who you are, for allowing me to just kind of join you in the adventure of getting on that ferry, because you really, really helped me so much. So get on the ferry. It was a beautiful scenery of the Hudson River, and then seeing the Statue of Liberty and seeing the Nike ferry. Shout out to the marketing team for Nike Run. You guys were on point. Okay, throughout the entire experience, I just kept saying to myself, wow, the Nike Run marketing team is just on it. So to see that ferry out there was just amazing, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we get off the ferry, and we all navigate towards a line of buses. And these buses transport us to the starting village. And the starting village is just where you eat your snacks that you packed and brought, use the restroom, stretch. It was plenty of space for you to lay down your towel that you brought, or your trash bag that you brought to sit on. And we did this as we waited for our wave to start. So in a marathon or any organized race, everybody just doesn't start at the same time. That would be chaotic and dangerous. I was in wave 4, the pink wave, and people was like, oh, well, did you pick the pink wave? Because they know that's my favorite color. No, it was assigned to me, and it's a random thing. So I'm sitting in the starting village, stretching, eating my banana granola bar, using the restroom, doing the things as I prepare to get into the wave for my start. Okay. Even that part, my nerves, I prayed that night. I got some good sleep. But I was still like, Lord, just please let my knee cooperate. I'm y'all whole time worried about my knee. I have not tested this knee out since I got the therapy. So I'm not knowing what this knee is going to do. I'm just praying to God and just hoping that it goes out there and do what I need it to do. And then, of course, I've been hearing about the hills and, how crazy those can be. At this point, I'm not factoring in anything like I trained in Colorado with high altitude with major hills. I'm not thinking about all of that. I'm just thinking about this is a course I've never ran in a place that I've never ran in. So I'm really not knowing. It was really the fear of the unknown. This is where I got emotional. I'm in the starting line. My wave is about to go, and then they start singing the Star Spangled Banner. And I'm in New York, and in a state where we know almost 25 years ago, tragedy happened, on 9/11. And, the state just represents strength and resilience in itself. And then I'm representing strength and resilience as a runner, and about to challenge myself more at a level that I've never challenged myself before. And then I hear the Star Spangled Banner with those feelings, and the tears just, I was emotional. I was an emotional, just, of all of emotions, and when that, shot fired for us to go, I just went, and I remember the advice from a lot of other folks. It was like, Listen, you're going to be super excited. Don't let the excitement allow you to start too fast, because you've got so many more miles to run. You don't want to start too fast and drain yourself knowing that you have so many more miles to go. So when I saw myself running at like a 9:30, I didn't even, first of all, I can run 9-minute miles. I can run 8-minute miles, but I can't run 9-minute miles for a long time. I know how I start to feel. I didn't want to start like that. So I held back. I wasn't feeling tired at all. And I really, that really goes to show you, like, training in high altitude really does put you at an advantage. Okay. So I wasn't feeling like I was running that fast, but I was, because I looked at my watch and saw it. So I didn't pull back because of the feeling. I pulled back because I'm like, oh no, I'm going my 8-9 minute mile. I need to pull back. And so I pulled back. And I pulled back the entire run. Just not knowing like what I was getting myself into. So I really just took it easy. And let me tell y'all, the New York City crowd, if you are a New Yorker and you were out there this past Sunday for the New York City Marathon, I just want to personally say thank you. When they say that crowd is electric, that it pushes you, they weren't lying, y'all. Like, that crowd was epic. Do you hear me? Epic. Like, it was a party. Like I said, when my husband asked, the first thing that I said was, it was a 26.2 mile long party. Okay. People were out there with their signs. They were just hilarious. They were uplifting. It was just every sign, every scream of, you got this, keep going. Seeing the kids out there. People were passing out food and drink. They were passing out orange slices, bananas. It was electrifying. It was electrifying. I'm an empath, so I feed off of people's energy. So the empath in me was on cloud 9, okay? I was running, I was like doing this, like to the crowds, blowing kisses. I was clapping. I was enjoying the run. I was 100% enjoying the run. And that's what I'm so glad that I handled that as enjoying the run, rather than, oh, I got to make a certain time, or, I got to do this pace. I really went out there and I enjoyed every moment of it. And the hills that everybody were talking about, I didn't really feel like they were hills because, I train here in Colorado. And yeah, those were some beast hills here. So yeah, but it was the most incredible experience of my life. I tested everything with this run. My mental strength, my fortitude as a person, like my, not giving up on, even when the circumstances presented itself, like with my knee and, just all the things that really had me questioning everything. I still did it because I said, I've gotten this far. Because I have this thing that I say, if God brought me to it, he's going to bring me through it. And he did just that. He gave me this opportunity, and he gave me the tools that I needed to do it. So if God gives you something, he gives you an assignment. He's not just going to give you the assignment. He's going to give you everything that you need to complete the assignment. And that's what I did. I had everything I needed. And the devil tried to pause you, girl, and have me stepping back because of my knee. But let me tell y'all, I ran 26.2 miles pain-free. Do you hear me? My knee, like it was a brand new knee. It was as if the injury to my knee never happened, y'all. Never did. When I tell you the good Lord was looking out for me, oh my goodness, y'all. I never, even after I just had, when I finished, crossed the finish line, I had the normal pain of fatigued muscles, fatigued calves, overworked calves and leg. You know, that I had that normal stuff. That was to be expected. But no knee pain in either of my knees. Still to this day, never, no pain, you know. So I will say Next Era Therapy over in Parker, Casey, thank you, Casey, for just healing me. Thank you for the stretches that, you know, you gave me for that last week and a half before the marathon. Thank you so much for just, you know, giving me the care that I needed, because I did not experience any pain during that run. So my husband, of course, he was in New York with me throughout the whole thing, and just having him physically there for support, man, that was everything. He was in the stands in Central Park when we finished. And I could just hear, he had made friends with folks in the crowd, which that's his thing. My husband doesn't know any strangers. He can make friends with anybody. Next thing you know, he's got a crowd of people yelling my name, go, 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 as I cross the finish line. I'm going to show you the video. Go, 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 go. And it was at that moment that gave me, like, I don't know, the energy from people, I'm telling you, moves me. And so when they yell my name and I looked that, I blew them a kiss and just, I finished. That last, everything I had left in me went to that finish line. And then they put the medal around my neck and gave me the poncho, because I'm soaked in sweat. And it's cold, because, you know, it gets colder as the night comes in. And I was grateful for the poncho. So great job to the New York City Marathon organizers for making sure we had those at the end, because it was definitely needed. The walk outside. So here's the thing. You're not done. When you cross the finish line, you're done running, but you still have a journey ahead of you getting out of Central Park. There is a journey to get out. So I had to walk, you know, to get out of Central Park. And then they have this area called Family Reunion where you reunites with your family. And so Wade, my husband, and then it's alphabetized. So my last name is Odom. So I went over to the O's, and to even get there was also a journey. So getting out of the park, walking to Family Reunion to meet up with him was also a long walk. So my legs are like depleted, and I'm still doing all this walking, but it was so much fun, y'all. And you know, when they say, like, once you finish a marathon, you're already ready for the next one, that is also not a lie, because as soon as my legs healed, I was feeling better, my legs were feeling back to normal. I was already like thinking, like, what marathon do I want to do next? I can't wait, you know. It's like, that's a running thing. Like, every runner understands, like, we can't just do one marathon and just be it. Like, we can't, even if we never do a marathon again, we still run. We still have to do some type of running. Whether it's a half or whatever, you know, we still have to keep moving, because it's just in us. We're runners. So later that night, we had previously bought tickets for the after party. And this is where you can go get your medal engraved. This is where, you know, you get drink tickets, and they have food trucks out there, a dance floor, DJ. It's a whole celebration after party. So honestly, like, right after, with my legs feeling the way they were and just me being exhausted, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go to the after party. Mind you, I'd already paid my money for these tickets and already paid to get my medal engraved. So I was willing to, like, just throw that all away because of how tired I was. But I got back to, I told Wade, I was like, let's not throw it out of the window altogether. I said, let's go back to the room. Let me ice up everything. Let me put the fireflies on. And, let's just see how I feel. So I get back to the room and I get the fireflies going. And, I took my Motrin Tylenol dual action, took 2 of those and I'm icing everything. And I just felt better. And not only did I feel better, I was hungry. So I was like, I got to get out and eat anyway. So let's still go. So not only did I go to the after party, but I danced. Here's a video of me doing some 90s dancing. The same actual day of this marathon, just a couple hours later. So yeah, when they say runner's high it's a thing. That is what you just saw. I was operating on runner's high and lots of adrenaline. And maybe a little bit of Tylenol, Motrin. But a fun night. We ate at the food trucks, and it was just an amazing moment. The next day was recovery day, and so we had already planned out where we would go to this spa called Air in New York. It's right around the corner from our hotel, so I mapped that out perfectly. And it's a bathhouse that has different water temperature pools, and they have salt water pools so you can float and just get the benefit of that. They had steam rooms. They had body temperature water pools. They had very cold plunge pools, like 33 degrees, 50 degrees, like very cold water. And they had the hot water. So I literally got into the cold water as for as long as I could stand it, which was probably about 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds. And then I would get out and go to the hot. So I kind of like alternated on that. Oh my God, it just made such a difference in my recovery and how fast I recovered. I'm so glad I was able to do that. Get in a steam room. We had peppermint tea. They gave us like robes and like slippers to walk around. We got a tour of all the pools and things. There was one pool that had an open roof, so you can literally like have fresh air and you can see the sky as you're in the pool. We met a lot of people there that also had run the marathon, and just meeting them and talking with them was a vibe. Yeah, it was that spa moment with my husband, and that was really the first time we've actually had some alone time, just us without the kids, and it felt great. And it was so relaxing, like the spa music playing in the background. And we had that for like 90 minutes. And they gave us a little bit of extra time too. And so after that, we went over, because our hotel was also by Ground Zero and Freedom Tower. And so we were able to like pay our respects over at Ground Zero, and just walk around and just, take it all in and just remember, they say you'll never forget what happened on 9/11, and we were able to just sit in silence as we just remembered what had happened there, and it was just a beautiful thing, like I said earlier, just to see how the city bounced back. And I know it's been almost 25 years, but it really shows that we as a country can come together and rebuild and repair. So that's what, so it was bittersweet, to just know the tragedy that happened there, but it also gave me a sense of, wow, look what the city did to rebuild, and what a wonderful job they did. So New York City is always going to have it's always going to be here in my heart. So it was incredible to tie this experience with the marathon to a city that I already hold near and dear to my heart. It was a great experience, and I just want to thank all of y'all for your love, support, for cheering for me, for the congratulations, and just, man, I'm telling y'all, like, I feed off of people. Like, I'm a people's person. I love people, and to have that level of support, and it was just, it was everything. It meant the absolute world to me, and I'm so grateful for y'all. So thank you so much. Everybody's like, what marathon do you want to do next? What marathon do you want to do next? I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna chase the stars. The 7 world majors. Like Boston. I think you gotta qualify for Boston. I know you gotta qualify for Boston. Ridiculous speed. That I don't think I have. I mean, I may can train before I get a coach, but that's down the line. But Chicago is one of them. I wouldn't mind doing. I wouldn't mind doing Sydney, Tokyo. It's just, I wouldn't mind doing them, but I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna chase the star. I'm not. I would even do like half marathons. I still want to do the Disney Princess half marathon. I tried to get that one this year, even before I found out I was going to run this marathon. So, I mean, I just want to keep running, as long as I'm here on earth and I'm healthy and I just want to keep running, whatever that is. So it doesn't have to be a world majors. It doesn't have to be a marathon even. It could just be maybe like I'm doing a 5K with my kids, or, a 10K. Yeah, I just want to run. Running makes me feel whole. It really, I tie it into my mental health, as a mom, as a wife, as somebody that has my hands in a lot and I'm always stretched thin. I have to prioritize my mental health, so that I can stay whole to be able to show up in all these spaces at 100%. So for me, catering to my mental health means running. And so that's why I said, like, this isn't a hobby. This is my lifestyle. And this is what I have chosen to do to keep me whole from the inside out. So anyway, thank you guys so much. I know this was a long recap and I still kind of packed it. It's still way more than that, but I kind of like packed it into like 30 minutes. But yeah, thank y'all so much. This is an incredible experience and I can't wait to the next one. Bye.